House of Cards. Nice. Haven't heard that in a while. Larry Kayfish spent 23 years in the Marine Corps, Lieutenant Colonel. And when we talk about ISIS and our ongoing efforts here, continuing as we speak, with these airstrikes up into Syria now, right on the border with Turkey, in fact, we're operating. I wonder, and I know we have to fight terrorism. What we really have to fight is radical Islamist terrorists for who knows how long. Decades, maybe centuries. It's been going on 1,000 years already, I suppose. 1,400 to be specific. But I wonder, in our efforts to vaporize these guys, what did we hear the total was earlier today? Under 100, we thought?
Yeah, that's what she said. Under 100 ISIS members killed.
So at $1 million per missile, those are the cruise missiles, and I can't even calculate the cost of the airstrikes with manned aircraft. Is it worth it? Are we just turning big rocks into small rocks? Are we blowing up $250 pickup trucks with $1 million worth of missiles? Let's start there with Larry Kayfish. He's been there. He's had to deal with complex problems in Iraq and Afghanistan, putting deals together, coalitions, and trying to get them to hold in this tribal environment, religious tribal environment. He's running in the 8th Congressional District, hopes to unseat Democrat Tammy Duckworth, also a veteran. We welcome back to the program Lieutenant Colonel Kayfish. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Big John, Amy, I'm great. Thanks so much for having me again. It's great to be with you this morning.
Before we get into local politics and how it's going for you, I wanted to get your thoughts on these airstrikes on ISIS.
Well, it was kind of a half measure to begin with. It was more of I believe, a political choice, not necessarily a national security strategy to go in and the way we're doing it. We all know that airstrikes alone will not get the job done. If you really want to get the job done, you're going to have some assets on the ground. And additionally, we got to make sure we have the right intel.
Mm-hmm. I mean, President Obama said we're going to degrade and destroy ISIS, and all of the rhetoric, even what Vice President Joe Biden says, doesn't match what we're doing.
No, not at all. This again, I think this is leading from behind. This is just it's a political expedient technique. We'll drop a few bombs. We'll say we took action on it, but we're not going to get truly committed to doing what needs to be done. In order to do it right, you do have to have an organized task force that can both be on the ground, engage the enemy, get good intel on the enemy, and be able to call for fire from the air so you can get rid of the rest of the enemy. But at this point, after dropping these bombs, we know they've scattered. We know they've sunken deep. It's going to be very hard to kind of wiggle them out, especially without boots on the ground, with good human intelligence, being able to identify where they are and who they are.
Lieutenant Colonel, if in fact you are our next congressman from the 8th Congressional District, do you think that the president should come to the House of Representatives for an additional authorization of military force for Syria specifically, or do you think legally that the one that George W. Bush got for Iraq still holds?
Well, that can be debated, and I think they're doing it right now in the courts. I do think there's something to be said about having a transparent process and getting confirmation from Congress in order to continue forces. It's technically you can kind of say this is just a continuous extension of the Al Qaeda and Iraq conflict, but that's a little bit of a stretch.
Now, have you had any debates with Tammy Duckworth yet?
We have not had a debate. We have sent an invitation to a debate. We've requested a debate. Her office has been negligent in responding or providing it. And this is unfortunate because this is really what the constituents want. It's really what the constituents need. I mean, if you look at what's happening in the district, the state, and the country, we are on a very bad, we're on a downward spiral. And more of the same will give us more of the same. It's important for the people, especially the constituents in the 8th, to know where she stands, where I stand, and where we differ.
Now, why did you decide to run for Congress?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't decide to run to be a politician. I am running to be an honest leader, a selfless servant, and a problem solver. I see what's happening across the country, across the district, state, and country, and the path we're on is simply unsustainable. If you look at where we are, we've got $18 trillion in debt. We have over half the nation on a government check. And the unemployment rate, if you look at the real numbers, the U6 numbers, we're at 12.6%. This is not a path for success. This cannot be sustained. Nobody's talking about it, but we are in uncharted territory, and we really need to make something. We really need to make a big change in the way we govern and the way we go about our process.
First thing is getting honest with ourselves. Not only you're talking financially here domestically, but overseas as well. And I like that. One of the real, I think, silver linings to the clouds of these ongoing military efforts we have around the globe is that when you take people like, Lieutenant Colonel Kafish and even Tammy Duckworth, too, who deserves to be commended for her service to our country. After you have seen the absolute worst in the world, and then you come back home and people are arguing over these small, petty, trivial items, the two of you, out of the two people really running for office that I can think of this time around, battling each other, you've seen the worst. Certainly you can bring out the best at home. That we hope at the very least.
Well, I'm committed, and history has proven, when we put the needs of the constituents and the country above all else, everything falls into place. But right now we have too many folks committed to party special interest in themselves, and I'll put my opponent Tammy Duckworth in that category, who votes well over 90% of the time with the party and has a more liberal voting record than Nancy Pelosi. I mean, these are not things that are going to benefit us. We're not looking at the constituents. We're not looking at the country. And that's why you see the constituents in the country being neglected and in pain.
Lieutenant Kafish, can we pass along your political website to our listeners, sir?
You may. And if I could, I'd like to make one quick announcement before I do that. Do I have a second?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Upon being elected, I want to identify 3 points that I will push. The first is, upon election, I will be waiving off any congressional pension. And it's not because I'm independently wealthy. I'm a Marine colonel from a working-class family in Carpentersville. It's because I truly believe those words in selfless service and putting the constituents ahead of all else. Secondly, I will enforce my own term limits, and I will be in office no more than 4 terms. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, take-home pay. My take-home pay will be taken in half, and I will give half to the constituents for them to decide what they need and where that should go. And this is not about me being economically independent. I'm not. This is about demonstrating honest leadership and true selfless service, putting the needs of the constituents in the country above all else, because that's what we need now more than ever.
Now, see, when Bruce Rauner says, I'll forego the salary, I say, yeah, okay, no big deal. With you, it's a little different.
With me, it's just
did you ask your wife?
Tremendously different. I mean, I've lived on my savings for the last year during this campaign. No, I'm not independently wealthy. I'm a Marine colonel from a working-class family from Carpentersville, Illinois. So,
well, did you ask your wife if that's okay?
I keep telling people I'm too young to be married, but nobody believes me.
Mr. Kafish, we also understand you picked up some significant endorsements recently. Would you run those down for us as well?
Well, we were very happy and pleased to receive the first and only endorsement from the Commandant of the Marine Corps, the 34th Commandant, General James T. Conway. And he is a phenomenal leader. This is the only endorsement he's given, and he said, "You're the right guy. You are the leadership that we need." And that's what I'm running on. I'm trying to bring Marine Corps leadership to Congress. And he recognized that, and he endorsed it. So that's a tremendous boost. Secondly, we do have the endorsement from Alan Lynch. Yeah. Alan Lynch is a Medal of Honor winner from Vietnam, like a true hero. Mm-hmm. He's an Army veteran, but he knows what I stand for. He knows Representative Duckworth, and he says, "Larry, you have my endorsement because you're looking out for the needs of the constituents in the country, and that is what we need."
Mr. Lynch has been a guest on this program a couple different times.
Yeah, he's a tremendous man. Yeah, absolutely. And I think you may have him on in the near future, hopefully.
Larry, Lieutenant Colonel Kafish, thank you so much. The website is Kafish for Congress. Kafish is Kaifesh. Kafishforcongress.com. We appreciate your time. We thank you for your service, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. God bless. Bye-bye.
Take care. Lieutenant Colonel Larry Kafish running in the 8th against Tammy Duckworth, joining us on our turnkey.pro Did He Ask His Wife? Answer line.